Chairman, board members, Happy New Year. Happy to be here with you this afternoon.
New Year.
This item, public hearing to consider project U-21092 from Sutter County, a zoning code text amendment amending table 1500-06-2, development standards and exceptions, walls and fences to allow for increased heights for ornamental fences and walls within front and street side yard setback areas in the estate residential and ranchette districts when in compliance with certain standards and does not result in vehicular sight distance hazard. So this item is being carried forward due to over the last year we have received a number of citizen inquiries expressing a desire for the county to allow for increased heights for ornamental and decorative walls and fences in the estate residential and ranchette districts. And just for reference, estate residential parcels are sized from ½ acre to 3 acres, and ranchette parcels are sized from 3 acres to 10 acres in size. So after considering the request, staff is proposing to amend the zoning code through a zoning clearance approval process, so that's a staff level approval, for ornamental fences not exceeding 7 feet in height within the front and street side yard setback areas. So for reference, the setback for the front yard for these two zones would be 30 feet, and that's measured from the back of the edge of the right-of-way. And if you're on a corner lot, that would be 20 feet. So within those areas is what we're talking about. So the 7-foot fence, decorative fence proposed would be required to be comprised of wrought iron or other materials, but it would specifically exclude chain link. The height limitation of 7 feet was specified because it is exempt from state building code requirements, meaning it doesn't require a building permit in order to construct it. At the county's request, applicants would be required to demonstrate the proposed fences would not result in a sight distance issue. And on parcels larger than ½ acre size in the estate residential or ranchette, a fence of this height within the setback area will not look out of proportion with other development on site or in a neighborhood. Now, with regard to ornamental walls, staff is proposing that they be allowed within these setback areas to a height not exceeding 5 feet. Walls can be entirely solid or include spaced pilasters, which are open between the pilasters, or essentially open with decorative wrought iron or other materials between pilasters. And we gave some examples in your staff report, which are up on the screen. On page 3 of your staff report, there is a track change version of the language that would appear in the zoning code. You'll see that the existing height for fences and walls within the setback area currently is 3 feet 6 inches or 42 inches in height. Now, with regard to environmental review, per the California Environmental Quality Act Guidelines Section 15061B3, this project would be covered by the general rule that CEQA applies only to projects which have the potential for causing a significant effect on the environment, where it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility the activity in question may have a significant effect. The activity is not subject to CEQA. Now, for this project, because we would be allowing it within front and street setback areas with zoning clearance approval and a demonstration that it would not result in a vehicular sight distance hazard, and that the heights would be exempt from building code requirements, staff believes that this action is not subject to CEQA. Now, the Planning Commission considered this item at a commission meeting late last year, and it was unanimously recommended for approval to your board with the findings listed in your staff report. So before you, again, this is a public hearing, and the ordinance is attached to your staff report. I did hear from the board clerk today that we did get one comment from the public, from George Musalam. He couldn't be here today. Resident of Sutter, he wanted to express his support for the ordinance proposed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Levy. With that, I'll open up public hearing. Are there any comments from the public regarding this issue? Okay, we'll make sure to note the comment from Mr. Musalam. Okay, great. No other comments. Then we'll close the public hearing. And at this point, we'll bring back to the board for discussion. Questions, comments?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carries. If I could direct the clerk to read the ordinance, please.
An ordinance of the County of Sutter amending Table 1500-06-2 of Chapter 1500 of the Ordinance Code to revise the height standards for walls and fences within front or street side yard setback areas within the estate residential or ranchette districts, and ranchette districts within unincorporated Sutter County.
Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
And thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Move on to the next item. Item 23 is an appearance item. Casey Murray, Associate Planner.
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Hi, Casey. We can see you.
Hi there. Yeah, thank you. Casey Murray, Associate Planner. This item is a request to rescind and replace a development rights agreement to reflect property line modifications proposed by a lot line adjustment. And in 1987, a parcel was divided into a home site parcel and a larger agricultural parcel. This project required the property owners to enter into a development rights agreement prohibiting any residential development on the agricultural parcel in order to maintain conformance with the general plan density of 1 residence per 20 acres. The landowners desire to adjust the property lines of the home site parcel. This adjustment requires replacing the existing agreement so the area encumbered by the agreement is consistent. If this item is approved, the property owners will enter into a new development rights agreement that will be recorded concurrently with the revised property line descriptions. So it is recommended that the board approve this project by adopting a resolution to rescind and replace the development rights agreement to reflect property line modifications proposed by the lot line adjustment. I'll entertain any questions you may have at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll bring it back to the board for discussion.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve from Supervisor Baines, a second from Supervisor Conant. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the presentation. Move on to the next appearance item. Gina Rowland, Human Resources Director.
Oh, you're ready for me.
Now we're ready, Gina.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the board. Gina Rowland, Human Resources Director. So the first item I have is a recommendation that the board grants approval to renew a 3-year employment agreement with Stephen Smith as the County Administrative Officer for the period of January 15th, 2022 through January 14th, 2025. This 3-year agreement would supersede the previous agreement that would have ended August 30th, 2022. It includes no scheduled increase in salary, but adds language to extend any pay increase or benefits applied to appointed department heads to the County Administrative Officer. The agreement includes an annual salary of $215,000, and these salary and benefits for the County Administrative Officer are included in the fiscal year 2021-22 budget, and no further fiscal impact is anticipated. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Gina. Bring it back to the board for discussion.
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from
Second.
Supervisor Baines, a second from Supervisor McKelly. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carries. Does this mean, now this means he's locked in, he can't leave us in 5 years, right? I just want to verify that. I guess not. Okay. Okay, next item, Gina.
Okay, so the next item before you is the long-awaited Sutter County volunteer and intern policy. So the county's existing volunteer policy was adopted by the board almost 20 years ago, and it contains overly cumbersome procedures that must be followed by departments, including excessive oversight by human resources. The new policy streamlines the process for departments, provides them with more flexibility, while continuing to protect the county in the areas of liability, risk management, and safety. Most importantly, the policy provides for internship opportunities for high school students and college students. As you know, internship opportunities expose students to the vast variety of careers in local government and will serve to engage our future workforce and allows interns to pursue their career goals while gaining valuable work experience with the county. Human Resources will work with, assuming the policy is approved, Human Resources will work with local high schools, colleges, and universities to obtain referrals for students interested in internships with the county. The policy encourages county departments to structure internships that offer meaningful work and educational value for students and provides opportunities for the county to engage future employees. Because internships and volunteer positions are unpaid, there's no fiscal impact resulting from this recommendation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Gina. Bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Through the chair?
Yes,
Quick
sir.
comment. If I could point out, when's the last time you heard of your government lessening regulations on something? So that's a good thing.
Good thing.
Thank you.
I do have a second from Supervisor Conant. Before we vote, I would like to say thank you, Gina, for putting this together. I know my own daughter had a great experience interning for a county and actually a city as well, and she has done very well as a result, and I know this will be a benefit to a lot of the youth in our community, so it's great to see that. With that, I'd like to call for a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Motion carries. Gina, next item is yours as well.
Okay, this is the last item from me. It is recommended the Board of Supervisors appoints Michael Solinger as the interim public defender for Sutter County effective January 29th, 2022. So Mark Vanden Heuvel has notified Sutter County of his retirement from the position of public defender effective January 28th after nearly 19 years in this capacity. Mr. Vanden Heuvel has provided excellent representation to the county's indigent criminal defendants, as well as representing dependency cases and overseeing all contracts for indigent defense within Sutter County. After consultation with the Superior Court, as well as conducting interviews by a panel including the chair of the Board of Supervisors and a judge of the Superior Court, the county administrator recommends appointment of Michael Solinger as interim public defender. Mr. Solinger has been licensed to practice law in the state of California for the past 28 years, including 20 years on contract with Sutter County as a public defense attorney. The public defender salary is currently set at a flat rate of $8,024.83 per month, or about $96,298 per year. There's currently sufficient appropriation authority within the public defender's budget for the appointment, and if additional appropriation authority is necessary, we'll come back to the board with a recommended adjustment to the 2021-22 adopted budget. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, bring back to the board.
To the chair.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from
I just
Supervisor
had a
Baines.
question.
You have a question from Supervisor Conant?
So, my question is this is a similar salary what we had previous?
It's the same salary as what we have currently, but we probably really need to take a look at it.
Yeah, because I was just wondering if that was, okay. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Supervisor Conant. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Motion carries. Welcome, Mr. Solinger.
To the chair.
Yes.
Yes, I thank you for recognizing Mr. Solinger. I didn't know if he had anything he'd like to state. Otherwise, I can state that we appreciate him being willing to step up, and with his many years of experience, look forward to working with him. Also, during this interim time, staff will bring recommendations back to the board for either future appointment or if there is a need for a different setup. We don't anticipate there being major changes, but it is possible with public defender offices throughout the state. There is a variety of setups, many different setups in different counties, so we may come back with something for you, but we'll be working with Mr. Solinger as well on that. And then in the future, work with the Board of Supervisors for some type of permanent appointment for whomever the board selects.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Solinger, did you want to make a few comments? He's asking if you could go to the microphone back to thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I thank the board and the chairman for the appointment, and I will diligently work to bring the Public Defender's Department forward as the population of this county increases and foreseen changes begin to occur. It's going to require a commitment from the public defender, from the Board of Supervisors, to stay in step with the rest of the state. I thank you. Appreciate the appointment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Solinger. Welcome aboard. Okay, next item number 27, Rick Bingham, Assistant Director of Health and Human Services. On this one, I'll ask the clerk, please read the item.
Approval of an agreement between the Mental Health Services Oversight and Accountability Commission and Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health to accept Mental Health Student Services Act grant funding in the amount of $2,215,438 for the grant period of February 1, 2022 through January 31, 2026 to provide a mental health mobile access hub to Sutter and Yuba County's local educational agencies. Authorization for the Director of Health and Human Services to sign all related documents, and approval of the related adjustment to the fiscal year 2021-22 adopted budget.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you. Well, I think she summed it up.
Great job.
So yes, this is a proposed agreement between Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health and Mental Health Services and Oversight Accountability Commission. The Mental Health Student Services Act was enacted in 2019, and the spirit of the act, or the intention of the act, was to establish partnerships between county behavioral health and the schools, and that was going to be done through a grant system. So in 2019, Behavioral Health partnered with both Sutter County Superintendent of Schools and Yuba County Office of Education to determine whether we wanted to pursue the grant and possible uses for the grant. Once it was decided that we would continue, we had some brainstorming sessions with representatives from all of the schools and school districts, virtually all of them in Sutter and Yuba counties. And so what came out of those meetings was a desire to establish this mobile access hub. The mobile access hub would establish the ability for clinicians to go to school campuses in both counties and do on-campus triage and assessment to determine or to meet the needs of individuals who may be displaying symptoms of mental illness. A benefit of the hub, one of the benefits is that it will increase access points. So currently, students receive assessment and triage by coming to behavioral health or to another healthcare provider. So this would essentially outsource some of that assessment and triage, and it would be done at, like I said, on campus, on site. And that would obviously help access and also help to mitigate some of the transportation issues that sometimes come up with some of our clients. There's also mental health outreach and education that is included in as part of this. So we were notified in June 2021 that we would be receiving $2.2 million over 4 years. So that's from February 1, 2022 to January 31st, 2026. Yuba County Office of Education will be the lead agency on this grant, and they will subcontract with the CBO to provide the mental health services on campuses. And we anticipate the participation of 17 schools and school districts and 11 charter schools, and they represent a student population of about 39,500 students between Sutter and Yuba counties that this program will benefit. No impact on the general fund. Again, this is a grant, and behavioral health will essentially act as a pass-through to Yuba County Office of Education. So we're excited to get this implemented and happy that we can provide these services to students on campus. And so with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bingham. I'll bring that back to the board.
Through the chair?
Yes, Supervisor.
Yeah, we talked about this in committee the other day, but I'm excited to see this because, as we know, in this country, just the reduction of the spending on mental health, and if we can identify problems in young ones early on, will be amazing. And if this ever prevents just one more school shooting, it is money well spent. So excited to have this.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor. Any other comments?
Through the chair.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. We have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores,
Aye.
Supervisor Baines,
Aye.
Supervisor Conant.
Aye.
Great. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bingham. Great job on that. Okay, moving on to the next item. Steve Smith, Sutter County Administrator for 5 more years minimum, right? No, 3 more years.
3. Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. This item, authorization to cancel the January 25th, 2022 3 p.m. regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Supervisors and call a special meeting for the same day at 11 a.m. at Sutter Union High School. So over the past few months, the board has mentioned a few times about wanting to have board meetings at least a high school in each district to get out there to help the students understand more about what the county does and to get the kids more involved and just kind of broaden horizons there. And we have an opportunity to work with Sutter Union High School to set up the meeting in 2 weeks. I've worked with the principal superintendent, Ryan Robison, and our staff are connecting now to set up and see how that will work. Logistically, most likely that would be an in-person only meeting, meaning people that will be presenting would need to be there. We will film it and put it online, but we may not have access. However, if we can, we'll try to make that happen. So just wanted to present that as an idea, and we'll bring back for future meetings for the rest of the calendar year to have a meeting in each of your districts.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So 11 o'clock, and this is confirmed, right? January 25th meeting? It's an absolute.
Well, if something happens where somehow logistically it can't be done, but we think it can be, we would make a public announcement and likely move it back to here. But I'll say it's 90% plus, and we'll find out the rest of the week. We just have to have our IT people be able to get there and make sure that we can do it. I'll say it's 97%.
97.5. Okay. All right.
Through the chair?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. What did you?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I see that Supervisor Ziegemeyer beat me to the punch. I was fighting for Live Oak to start it off, but since I'm a Sutter grad, that District 3 works too. So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly,
Aye.
Supervisor Flores,
Aye.
Supervisor Baines,
Aye.
Supervisor Conant.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. And we'll move on to item 29. Mr. Smith, that's yours as well.
Yes, so this is adoption of a resolution authorizing Sutter County to submit an application for Rural Recreation and Tourism Program grant funds for the Feather River Parkway project in recognition of the adoption of one or more of the related state planning priorities. So this item is simply basically approval to apply for a grant for up to $2 million in the Rural Recreation and Tourism Program grant funding. The Sutter County Resource Conservation District has been working cooperatively with the county. They've been putting in a lot of work with the National Park Service to make a riverfront parkway, Feather River Parkway project come to fruition, which that park project would extend from the 10th Street Bridge down through Shanghai Bend. And it's envisioned that there'd be a variety of options, recreational and educational use. A few options mentioned in the staff report are maintaining a trail system, picnic tables and gazebos, parking, seating, developed recreation infrastructure, wildlife viewing, restrooms, etc. So it's intended that the funds will flow through and be used entirely by the Resource Conservation District for this project. And so one requirement for the grant acceptance is acknowledgement that the county will be responsible for operating and maintaining this project for at least 30 years. So in the meantime, as we apply for this, we are still gathering data on likely expenses. So we'll bring that back to your board, and also with an agreement of how it will work between RCD and Sutter County. and an agreement for RCD in the state or Sutter County in the state. So we will work those details out before we ask you to accept officially, but we want to get the application in timely. So assuming this goes forward and once it's approved, it'd be a great time to, we've spoken about having a press conference about this project and its many possibilities.
Okay. Thank you for that. Back to the board. Any questions, comments?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I think it's a great idea, especially since most will be my district. It's a great resource for the community. Well, you know, people can take their kids down there, grandkids down there, go fishing, hiking, trail walking, ride bicycles on their levees and on their trails. It's just going to be a resource to see, have people see the, you know, the wildlife that's down there and so on and so forth. So I think that's a great idea.
Okay, thank you for those comments. I don't know if I do. Let's see, after this. Okay, sure.
No, okay. That was all I had. Thank you.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Conant. Wait a minute. Is this follow up on, what is this item?
That was a requested public comment before the meeting started, but
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. That's right, Diane. Okay. All right, we'll get that after. Okay. So any other comments? Supervisor Baines.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, second by Supervisor Conant. All those in favor, or let's do a roll call vote. That's right.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Move. Second.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye. You moved or what?
Okay, the motion carries. Very excited about the project. That's one of the biggest little park projects, I think, in the whole state about to happen. So pretty exciting to know it's going to happen here in Sutter County. With that, I do want to go to Diane Jager's public comment. So we'll call you up there. Diane, come on up.
Sorry for the mess up there. I wanted to follow up and ask the question if anything has come as far as the collaboration with the city on the 5G. I'd like to bring you up to date. I don't know if you're aware or not, but the FAA this last week literally shut down 5G around 50 airports in the United States because of the danger, the malfunction of actually navigational equipment in the planes. And so it's at a standstill right now. But Canada shut theirs down last October, and they're not allowing it. They're removing towers because of the interference. And they said that they had tried to get a hold of the FCC and FAA. Their comments were a little less than generous as far as the lack of cooperation. But it affects here in California 6 airports, just so that you're aware. So that is still something this is going to blow up, and I'm hoping that you're all making sure that this isn't going to be happening and bring it in, because they are seeing the dangers of what is happening. And at this point, it's being pushed out for a couple of months, but they have no solution to this at this point. They just literally have created buffers around the airports. There's no 5G allowed, and they're cycling because they actually have 50,000 pilots and personnel that have said, you're not going to use us as an experiment because we lose basically navigational ability because of the 5G. So this is getting larger. I hope that our community is going to protect itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Okay, now we'll come back to the board for any remembrances or any comments about your districts. We'll do both at the same time.
Start, I guess.
I do too. Go ahead. You want to go ahead? Go ahead, Supervisor Conant. Do you want to start?
Okay, so I have 4 to close the memory of, and the first one is under myself and Supervisor Zigemeyer, and it's for Larry Guy Harris. He passed away on December 10th, 21, and he was 95 years old 2 months and 4 days old. Larry was born in Oregon on October 6th, 1926. He's a civil engineer and a walnut farmer and resided in the Yuba-Sutter area for 93 years. He joined the U.S. Army during World War II from March 26, 1944 through October 4th, 1946. I didn't realize you had a time limit. And he was a Meridian member of the Lions Club and the Sacramento Scottish Rite and New York Rite, Ben Alley Shrine, and the Shriners Club and Royal Order of Jesters and Godfather of America. I didn't know all this stuff. Anyway, Larry is survived by his son Guy Harris and numerous other family members. Gravesite service is for January 27, 2022 at 11 a.m. at Meridian Cemetery, followed by a barbecue lunch at West Sutter Veterans Memorial Hall in Meridian. Memorial contributions are suggested by the Shriners Children's Hospital. Larry was a great Shriner. The next one is also myself and Supervisor Ziegemeyer, and it's for Charles Stephen Messick, age 32, of Marysville, California. He's part of the Messick family. Chuck and Sheila were his grandmother and grandfather. He passed away on January 1st of 2022, and was an avid hunter and enjoyed hunting, fishing, and enjoyed many other family and friends. And he was a great volunteer to help his friends in doing anything. He'd give the shirt off his back. He's survived by his 2 children and his stepchildren. He is preceded by his death of Charles Messick. And memorial services January 15, 2022, 11 a.m. and the Yuba-Sutter Fairgrounds. And then I don't have much information on it, but I believe it's his father, Charles Joseph Messick, of 63 of Marysville, passed away on December 31, 21. And Ulrey Memorial Chapel is doing that one. Really sad. And then the last one I have is Joe Alves III, Skip. Joe was born in Marysville, California on December 8th, 1957, and he is survived by his father, Joe, and his siblings. And Joe began working for Farmers Rice in 1985 and was currently the mill director for the mills. And Joe loved being outdoors. As a matter of fact, he passed away hunting in Nevada, and I had heard he had passed away, but then we couldn't confirm it. So that's why we're doing it. He passed away on November 7th, 21. He and my wife went to school together in Live Oak. He was raised in Live Oak, and he lived right around the corner when my wife and I first got married in Yuba City. And I talked to him probably a week and a half before he passed away. He had done some rice bran with us for an experimental trial. And Joe was always a can-do guy, get everything done. And I'd like to remember a letter sent to those families, please.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Conant. Supervisor Baines.
Alrighty. Letters and condolences, please be sent to the families for Harold Ward Jackson, Edgar Long, Ted Baker, Christopher Stedelmeyer, Stephen DeWitt, Paul Schultzwise, Joyce Smith. And I guess I could give these to you. Some of them are just from myself and also from Supervisor Zickelmeyer. And lastly, if we could have a resolution made up for Kasan Morcha Victory Day. This is going to be happening this Saturday. This is for that over a year-long protest that was the international protest for those 3 laws that were presented by the Indian government that were taken back. And so we could get that as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Baines. Supervisor?
Just
Kelly?
one. Yeah, if I could have a letter of condolence sent for the passing of my cousin, Mary Jean McKelly. She was 82 in Live Oak and survived by her husband, Ken McKelly, and her children, Mark, Michael, Marnie, and Matthew. And I know a lot of these happened while we're over the holiday, so we have quite a few here, but I'm just requesting that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to close in memory of Barbara Larkham. Barbara was in the Kiwanis Club with me for 24 years, so very, very important person on our club as she was the secretary of the club. But she worked for Marysville Medical Group and Sutter North Medical Foundation for 31 years. She was predeceased by her husband, James, survived by her sister, Kathy, and her brother, Larry. Barbara loved her family and friends. That just goes without saying, and she's going to be very missed. Her celebration of life is this Friday at the Sutter Cemetery. Okay, and I'd also like to close in memory of a good friend of mine, Lee Bout, Charles Bout. He was an insurance agent of mine for many years as well. He was a great father, husband, grandfather, brother, and uncle. He passed away December 20th, surrounded by his family. He provided a great deal of inspiration for his family, especially during the past several years, which he battled through significant health issues. His service celebration of life was held on January 7th, so for Lee Bout. And then another, I'd like to close in memory of Tom Williams Sr. Tom Williams passed away peacefully at his home on January 4th. Tom was born in 1935 in Arkansas. His family moved to Arizona, where they had a company lumber mill when Tom was very young. Upon his mother's death, his aunt Lottie Williams came to care for Tom and his dad and her brother. Soon, a second Williams brother, Carl, plus his 3 children also moved to the area. Tom's familial ties to Arkansas ran deep as both sides of his family were from the area. He, along with his wife and children, took many trips and enjoyed many reunions there in Arkansas. Tom graduated from Yuba City Grammar School, which is now Bridge Street School, and Yuba City High School in 1954. Briefly enrolled at Yuba College, then spent 4 years in the Coast Guard, stationed on a light ship as a buoy tender. Tom started work at Sunset Molding in Live Oak, where both father and uncle had an interest, along with the Morrison family. In 1971, he moved to Chico, where he managed the Diamond National's remanufacturing wood division. He returned to the Yuba-Sutter area in 1977 to help start the Yuba River Molding and Millwork Company. He was a member of the Lambda Pi Fraternity, Marysville Elks Club, Sons of Retirement, Peachtree Golf Country Club, Foothill Duck Club, St. Isidore Catholic Church. In retirement, he really liked to golf, shoot ducks, bike, but most of all, summer found him at Lake Tahoe in his boat, especially with grandchildren or 2 riding along. We're going to miss seeing Tom in the 2nd District as he frequented some of the restaurants there for breakfast, and he had a great personality, so he's going to be very missed. So I'd like to close in memory of those 3. And with that, I'd entertain a motion.
One more, sorry. Yeah. Walter Deck. I'm not sure if I mentioned. I think.
One more, and then I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Okay, you got a second by Supervisor Bain, second by Supervisor McKelly. All those in favor, we'll just vote.
Aye.
Okay, motions carry. And any other comments from the board or anybody else this time? All right, with that, meeting is adjourned. Thank you for joining us today.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at PlumasLakeSelfStorage.com.